This podcast is brought to you in part by Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, and Dr. Thomas Dudney. Now, back to Bubba on the Lake.
Hey, it's Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. Yeah, he's got it going on, gotta come and check this. Talking people, talking places from Bubba's perspective. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba on the lake. Hey, Bubba, yeah, Bubba on the lake. Let's go.
Well, hello again, everybody. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and now your host of Bubba on the Lake. Welcome back to Bubba on the Lake. Glad to have you. We are broadcasting from the Mellow Yellow studio, and we have some good news to report. Of course, I'm going to gripe about a few things, but we do have some good news, too. Remember, our website is bubbaonthelake.com, and we have the comment line at 308-BIG-LAKE. If you call and leave a message, it may be heard on the podcast, or it may not, but they're always entertaining, and the entire staff here enjoys them. So please keep those coming. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications. Don't want you to miss anything from the show. And as always, we want you to help spread the word about Bubba on the Lake and try to get us more folks listening. It's podcast world is got a lot of analytics in it, and it's very important. We continue to grow the podcast, and we want people following our social media and all that stuff. All that plays into it, and it eventually comes out in the wash. Okay, some good news. Let's get an update here. Wound pump is now out of the knee. I still have stitches, and, buddy, they used some good ones. I think they used fence wire on this one. Beginning to pull a little bit, but we're about a week away from getting those out. So steady as she goes. Still got the PICC line. And for those of you non-medical people like me, that means I have a little tube hanging out of my arm, and Betty hooks up a big old syringe and gives me IV antibiotics once a day. So that is still going on, and that will go on through Thanksgiving. So this particular infection, just got to beat it down, push it down till my knee gets well enough that it can fight it off in that area by itself. And hopefully we're headed that way. Still a little painful to walk, but we're stumbling around with a cane. And I would say overall, I would have to upgrade my condition from C+ to B-. If we get stitches out, I will be a solid B, baby. I mean solid. Lot to cover. I'm debating about griping about the time change again. I've done that on the podcast before. I've done it on the radio for 31 years. Still nothing done. Apparently, there's nothing can be done. That this has been forced on us by a power bigger than ourselves from somewhere else in the universe, and we're going to have to endure this ridiculous process of changing the time, screwing our clocks up, screwing our internal body clocks up, for the rest of my life. I've just give up. It's just, and I'm not. I told y'all I'm not going to gripe about it. I'm not. You think I'm griping it? Well, I'm just mentioning it. I'm not really griping about it. But it's just insane, and I can't help but see that and say that. Can you? I mean, do y'all enjoyed it? I tell you, I love it dark at 5 o'clock, and by December it will be 4:30. Beautiful 4:30 in the afternoon, pitch black. Good news. The shortest day of the year is out in front of us, December 21st. Mark your calendars. The days will start getting longer after that. That really doesn't give you a lot of good feeling, does it? Doesn't me. Anyway, not going to gripe. Hope everybody had a happy and safe Halloween. I've talked about this before too, but I did want to mention it. Halloween was such a fun time for me growing up. I wanted it to be a fun time for my kids. I know you have to be careful with these things because spiritual warfare is real. If you are a believer, you've got the user manual called the Bible, And it talks about that and how you have to be very careful of that. And I certainly appreciate that. When I was growing up, we had a neighborhood of about 3 blocks, houses on the inside, outside, maybe 12, 15 houses, I don't know. And twice a year, we would all get together, have a big cookout, big bonfire. Everybody would bring potluck stuff, and it was the best time. The parents would sit around and tell stories and laugh, cook. Kids would play. We would run, play tag, dodgeball, whatever was in. Then we'd come and eat, and we'd go run again. And it was just a good time. It was some of the most fun times I remember in my neighborhood growing up. And it's one of those times where everybody got together. I mean, I saw a lot of the kids in the neighborhood at different times, but you hardly saw everybody at one time together. So I look forward to that. And, you know, we used to dress up as a skeleton or something, go around. But, you know, so many people just take it so far, and gets into such horror and such demonic stuff. And I'm like, don't want none of that. And they've kind of ruined it for everybody. But it's a fun time of year. You know, the heat's finally broke. Feels good to get around a bonfire. Have you ever noticed people look good around a bonfire? I mean, I guess it's the light, the low light. You know, you know how some people look better in low light, like myself. The lower the light, the better. I'm absolutely beautiful in pitch black. So that's what Betty says. But anyway, we... I know y'all are baiting me over there. Stop it. I enjoyed Halloween growing up. It was fun. It was not demonic. It was not horror. It was fun. And we tried to do that with our kids. We went to neighborhoods that celebrated, and we rented a golf cart or got a golf cart, and we would carry everybody around. We went on a hayride one year on a trailer, and then we had people come back to our house. We used to have a big party, and it was so much fun. And we don't do that anymore, and I miss it. I'll just be honest. I'm just going to call it, hey, I miss it. So I was looking at old pictures from Halloween. I meant to post some online. I didn't do it. But, man, those were fun days. They are fun days, and if I look back and say I miss something, I miss trick-or-treating with the kids and the whole thing. We used to have a street in our neighborhood when we lived in Birmingham that was known for pitching a all-out Halloween street party. And it was like Mardi Gras, but Halloween. And we would go down there, and I used to walk the kids around. When they got a little older, I would just go and sit in the yard with somebody. I'd see one of the neighbors, and they'd have lawn chairs, and we'd sit there and talk, and the kids would go down, come back. We'd eventually go home. But it was just fun. And I hope that you and your family enjoyed it, and it was not something over the top or, you know, demonic or whatever. You could just enjoy the season changing. I know we're riding piggyback on a pagan thing. I got it. I got you. I'm not debating that. So you have to be careful with that. But I think it's really in your approach to it and what you're doing and how you're doing it more than anything else. So with that said, I do want to mention this. We have 2 new sponsors who have come on the program. That's going to complete our availabilities here on Bubba on the Lake. I want to thank Bryce Motors in Alexander City. Nice folks. I do business with them, bought a Jeep from them, really like them, and I'm glad they have decided to come on and be a sponsor. And Russell Lands. Russell Lands is a big operation here at Lake Martin, and they do a lot of stuff, and we're going to be telling you all about them in coming episodes. So we're very excited to have those along with our other sponsors that have been with us all along: Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Central State Bank, Guaranteed Labels, Dr. Thomas Dudney, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, Southern Immediate Care, the Green Monster Lot. And they're joining that fine group. And let me tell you, good sponsors. This is not something we take lightly. I know these people. I know the quality that they offer, and I'm glad to be in a partnership with them. All right, we have a lot to cover. Stuart the Tech Guy has quite an update, and he has some answers to some questions that I was asking. We're going to have him up, and then we'll see what else bubbles up as we continue Bubba on the Lake.
Where's Bubba?
I'll tell you where. He's on the lake.
Experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Try out Fanny's for breakfast. Afternoons, you can go and explore over 100 miles of trail through Russell Forest. Evenings, try out the southern farm-to-table flavors at Springhouse. Naturalist Mary Ann brings the outdoors into her classroom at Russell Crossroads, or join her for a guided nature tour. If you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
Since 1965, Bice Motors has been Lake Martin area's home for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram sales and service. For 60 years, families have trusted Bice Motors in Alexander City for honest deals, friendly service, and the best selection around. Our team of certified technicians services most all makes and models. Plus, we've got a tire center, parts department, and a full collision center to keep you rolling. Bice Motors, your hometown Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer since 1965. In Alex City or online at bicemotors.com.
Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Well, we're back, everybody, and we have everybody's favorite tech guy, Stuart Brockwell from Surge Technologies in Birmingham, is joining us. And Stuart, it just seems like the tech world just gets busier and busier and busier.
It does, but I got a small correction for you. That would be the Titan of Tech.
The Titan of Tech. That's right. Okay, I got to get that right. I need to remember that.
You came up with it. I'm just saying.
The Titan of Tech, Stuart Brockwell.
Yes.
And
well, anyway,
listen, I've got to say, I saw your office the other day. Very impressive.
It's been fun to get to work with Scott and his folks. Obviously, you've been involved with them for quite a while, friends and all that. But did you see that building when it was smashed by the tornado last year?
I saw pictures of it, but I'm gonna tell you that building does not do the volume of that building justice. That thing is mammoth.
It's almost like a hospital. Like you could see it being used as something like that. It's got so many rooms.
Well, I tell you, Scott's he's been very fortunate and blessed, and I know he's using it for maximum impact for the kingdom, and we're glad he's able to do that. What a blessing!
I know. I hear there are rumors that there's somebody has taken some space to film some kind of a movie or TV show or something. I don't know. They're big time now. I don't know.
Well, you got a group of podcasters right down the hall from you there.
That's true. Good friends of mine.
And they've done a great job in there too. What a wonderful building. If I lived a little closer, I'd want to have an office there because it is really awesome. Well, Stuart, what's on your tech list?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing to me, I don't like starting off with the bad news, but I do have to bring this up. You've been kind of in and out of this whole knee mess. I get it. It's been keeping you tied down. But were you aware of the big internet outage on October 14th?
Yes.
Few weeks back?
Oh, I sure was. Trust me. I was laying in a hospital room in Chicago trying to get things done.
Right.
It was very difficult.
Yeah, well, it was difficult for everybody. I mean, for those who don't know, the majority of the internet runs through a couple of major providers, with Amazon being the largest. It's called AWS, or Amazon Web Services. And AWS, believe it or not, hosts just a staggering amount of internet traffic. In nearly, I don't know the current statistics, but it's going to be up there in the 40% or more of the global web traffic. And so they obviously don't run all that through a single server data center. They've got them all over the world and such. But on the 14th, they had an 18-hour people called it catastrophic outage. I would agree. And it was their East server systems in the U.S. that went down, and it knocked out, a good percent of the internet, Netflix, streams, email, websites, all kinds of stuff. But the thing that made me laugh Bubba, are you familiar with the smart bed?
The smart, but you mean like it adjusts itself?
Yes, but more than that. Like it can adjust the thickness and kind of how it tilts and how
The
warm
heat
the
or
mattress.
the air,
Yes,
all that.
yeah,
Yes,
all that.
I'm familiar with that. Sleep Number has one like that.
They do, and there's another brand called 8 Sleep, the number 8 Sleep, and I've never used one of these. I've heard good things about them. They've got speakers in them and all this, but this is how bad it was, and this is just an example. 8 Sleep ran all of their smart bed controls and schedules through AWS. And so all of a sudden you got people in the bed or trying to go to bed whose the beds are like stuck on like hot and they're like roasting people and they're like folding people. It's like it's like the commercials. They're like squishing them in the bed. It's this huge fiasco. And that's just one example of we don't realize how much of our daily life runs through Amazon. If you never make a single Amazon purchase, I guarantee you something in your life depends on them.
And you bring up a good point there, and I don't know what the current regulation is on that. I'm a free market guy if at all possible, but the internet is so important now. It's a backbone, like you said, everything we do from banking to flying to navigation to how we set our bed up. And I really would like to see us have a little diversity in that setup. Like you said, AWS, they hold such a market share in that when they have a problem, it is trouble for everything.
It just wrecked the internet, and it took them almost a full day to come out of it. I honestly was starting to wonder how bad this really was. I heard rumors that they had to get the Amazon's head networking engineer off of his yacht to come fix it. I don't know how truthful that is.
What went wrong? Do we know what went wrong? I mean, you got to have an internet connection. You got to have power. What else do you need for all that to operate?
So they're not being super clear on it. It's from my understanding, they were trying to run firmware updates on the undersea transmission cables that link up Amazon's East data center with Europe and Africa.
Right.
If this is something that a lot of people don't know, maybe your listeners would know this. The internet doesn't travel between continents wirelessly. There are gigantic fiber optic cables that are all over the oceans that run from continent to continent, connecting the whole world together. And those cables have to be maintained. New ones have to be laid down. They wear out like anything else. And so they were, from my understanding, they were running firmware updates, routine stuff, and it caused a huge issue. The links to this data center went down, and they weren't able to bring it back up until supposedly this head engineer was able to figure out what caused it and fix it. But it just was a mess.
I'm glad he's got a yacht. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, probably 2 or 3 given Amazon, but anyway.
Good.
But yeah,
hey, you know what? Good for him. I'm opposite of the new socialist movement. If the guy can make that and he's that smart, good for him.
Yeah, I always feel like the age-old advice: don't buy a boat, get a friend who has one, right?
That in an airplane, I've always heard that.
True. Now you have a pontoon boat, right?
I do have a pontoon boat, and I'm going to tell you, when I am on it, it is my best life, no doubt.
Okay. So you're my friend who has one, so I'm good.
I would have to say I'm probably the exception to that saying because I do love my pontoon boat. Now, granted, it had the top ripped off of it in a tornado, and I had to put a kind of a generic one back on. But dinks and bruises, and I did take it over a rock that went skyward. We kind of did a Dukes of Hazzard thing in it one time. But other than that, I enjoy it. It's in good shape.
Well, I don't mean to, I like the good tech news, but you got to touch on that when the whole internet drops offline for nearly a day. You got to bring that up. But
I've got to ask you this, Stuart. I go to update my Macs, and, I'm expecting like Mac 18 or something, and I see it 26. Okay. And I thought, my God, have I missed that many updates? And then somebody said, oh, no, they've changed the way they're numbering them. And what are we doing, Stuart? This is not Steve Jobs like.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I think it's a smart move.
Now, why are we naming it after the year it comes out? Is that the deal?
Yep, you got it. It's that simple. It really is that simple.
But see, if I have 26 and it's 28, I feel like it's outdated. But if I just have 17, I don't know that it's outdated.
Yeah, it helps people to know because if most people know what year it is, right? So if you've got iOS 26 and it's 2028, then probably you need to update. But it really is just as simple as a year thing. Apple's versioning has kind of gotten in the weeds, and it was easy to remember when it was 4, 5, 6, and now we're on. Previously, it was 18. I mean, come on, who's going to know the difference between 18 and 17? I mean, for a long time, I kept up with it, and eventually, I just had to give up and start taking notes because there's just no way.
Stuart, I get so aggravated. And you tell me this, because, I mean, I love technology. I was there when we were punching in cards doing basic. So I felt like I helped to usher in the current era we're in. But I hate updates. Oh, my God, I hate updates. Right. Because every time I get something working like I want it to, and I mean multiple devices, and I told you before we went on, I had like iPhone 12, or I don't know, maybe 14. And I had it hooked to my Rodecaster Pro 2, which is what we do the podcast on. Thing worked like a charm. I could Zoom. I could do the what's the call they have on there if you want to do it? What's the little video call?
The FaceTime. FaceTime.
Yes, FaceTime. I could do all that. It worked fine, and it interfaced with my board Bluetooth. So I just set it up here on the shelf and had a good time. Or you could just do regular calls on it. You can do whatever, anything the phone could do, it could send over to it. So after, I'm behind on everything and battery life, Jimmy Jam, I finally give in and I go get a 17. I come in and, it's all pretty and the screen's not scratched up and all that. I'm excited, but it won't work like the other one did. I'm having audio trouble sending things back down the line. So seems like, I have this problem a lot. In other things, I have, satellite tracking software for ham radios and all that, and I'll have it working like a top. Here comes an update. Plug that baby in, nothing works. Why do I hate updates, and why does it have to be like that?
I mean, updates, unfortunately, these days are driven primarily by two things. They're driven by cybersecurity issues because there's constantly new vulnerabilities, weaknesses being discovered. We're humans. We can't write perfect code. There's no such thing as an unhackable system, and so no matter how good it's built, there's imperfections there, and so you've got all these people overseas and here locally trying to break in and make a buck and steal information, this or that, and so you're always having to patch those out. So it's security is the biggest reason, and then the other reason is going to be bug fixes, again, talking about fixing problems. And then you do have new features and things like that come alongside that. And that's what people tend to get upset with Apple because they're constantly adding new features instead of fixing problems. But I've never heard of, I've talked to several people. I've set up a few iPhone 17s at this point since they've come out, and I've not had any audio issues with them. I've primarily seen issues with the aluminum body of these phones because they switched from titanium to aluminum because it dissipates heat better, as you know.
You mean aluminum?
Yes, or aluminium, as our friends overseas would say. So you've got the aluminum body, which is a lot less durable. And so people are they drop it out of their car and then they're expecting it to take the hit, and no, it just dents it because it's aluminum. So that's the only real complaint that I've gotten. So we'll have to do some troubleshooting off air on this and figure out what's going on with that one, because I don't think it's an issue affecting all 17s. If it was, I think I would have heard about it.
Well, I know they supposedly gave you more control of your audio, but in my case, it's overdriving, and I don't know, I have got to a point where I can say, hey, it's over my head. I got to call Stuart and get that worked out. I got a couple of other projects. I know you are backed up probably till the spring thaw, but I've got a couple of LAN cables I need running. Hunter needs one run too, and unfortunately, with my knee now, I'm not going to be running many.
Well, I need to get down there anyway because I've got some stuff to do for you. And good news, I've been looking to bring on some additional staff to kind of fill out that, because I have been just unbelievably busy, and I've got a great candidate interviewed with him yesterday, so that's going well. But going back to other stuff that's in the tech news, have you seen Meta, Facebook's new glasses that you're going to be able to buy?
No, I bought into the Google Glass when that thing first came out, and hey, nice price tag, and it's a paperweight right now. Right. But I love the idea of it. But people kept getting in trouble driving with them on and all that stuff, and I know Apple's got an augmented reality. It's not the same thing. I saw somebody else with some type of glasses the other day, but what's Meta got cooking?
So, well, talking about Apple, they did release an updated version of the Apple Vision Pro. I still honestly don't know who that device is for. I can't imagine anybody spending $3,000 on an iPad stuck on your face. It's cool. That's selling the product a bit short. If you've not been to an Apple store,
are you calling it a babe magnet?
Look, I don't care what it is. If you put on a virtual reality headset or whatever, you're going to look like the biggest dork in the world.
Sure.
But look, if you haven't been to an Apple store and tried the free demo, do it. It's a cool product. But I just don't see who's going to buy it. But anyway, so what Meta's doing is they're kind of coming alongside what they were already doing with the Ray-Bans that were out before. You saw those.
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you, I have somebody was telling me about those. And they had me on the hook, man. I wanted some really bad.
Well, I'm glad you're going to be glad you waited, because this is like the evolution of that. Because the Ray-Bans, they have the camera in them, right, and they can record, and that's fine. As long as you're cool with sending all your video through, Mark Zuckerberg's pockets.
Sure.
Anyway,
assuming the internet's up.
Well, true. But so what this is the Orion AR glasses. They're technically a prototype, but they're looking at releasing something that's going to be nearly the same of this. And they do video like the existing glasses do, but they are like the Apple and the Google Glass. They have a holographic augmented reality screen that appears like kind of floats in midair, and it does it tracks your hands, so you can use your hands to interact with the menus and whatnot. It looks good. Like cautiously, it looks like they've done it really well. And the biggest thing is it doesn't make you look like a dork. They look like regular glasses.
Well, that was one of the questions, and I was going to ask you, how do they actually do the processing? And like the other Ray-Bans, are they Bluetoothing to your phone and your phone actually doing it and it just throwing it up there? How's it? Where's the brain of this?
It's kind of both, and it does use some onboard processing that, thanks to the stuff being more efficient, you can do some of that now. It does leverage a lot of your phone. Obviously, it uses your phone for an internet connection. It has to do that, but it is communicating with your phone wirelessly, and then it kind of does a little bit of both. The glasses do run their own menu, and they do the AI processing, some of it on the device. And I think part of that is they have to be able to support both Android and iPhone users.
Yeah.
So they can't just rely on Apple's AI or Google's AI. They kind of have to have their own in the glasses to do that. But they look really good.
So is that going to be out for Christmas? Is that a Christmas option?
No, it's a prototype. They're aiming for early 2027 and about $1,000, which that's a third of what Apple's is charging for the Vision. And
so the Ray-Ban set that's already out, what do they run?
Oh, I want to say like 400.
It's high for glasses, but not bad for all the other toys out there.
I'm not sure. Let me look that up real quick. I want to say that they are, $379. So not bad at all. I know that I paid, $400 plus for my prescription glasses. I don't know what you pay for yours.
I usually get readers at the drugstore, so it's not that bad.
Oh, true.
$8.
Well, too many screens for too many years has made me almost half blind. So that's what you get.
Well, I'm getting there.
But anyway, so we got that. That's coming up. It's pretty cool. And then you did see the M5, the new Apple chip, the M5 that came out. That's pretty nifty.
All right, talk about it a little bit.
I do say, when I say nifty, that's kind of about it. It doesn't come with any monumental features. It's more efficient. They've managed to make the thing consume 40% less power. So you've got, you're getting nearly 50% more battery life out of your iPad or out of your MacBook, which is pretty cool. I'm continually disappointed by the fact that we live in 2025 and I can't use my phone for more than 12 hours at a time. It really sucks.
Well, I mean, if you're out mobiling around, I usually plug mine in, and when I'm driving, and it usually pairs up with my CarPlay, so I don't have a big deal with it. I kind of like plugging it in because I do get to charge it while I'm driving, and I don't. But I can see where if you just keep it in your pocket, you could run into trouble over a long time.
I just get disappointed because, okay, so all right, we're going to do another history question from me to you.
All right.
What was your first cell phone?
Oh, Stuart, I had a Motorola. It looked like a lunchbox with a receiver up on top. It was the first cell phone out. And I don't know if I've told you this story or not, but I actually had a cell phone, and I was trying to get, it wasn't Verizon then, it was called something else, Cell One or something. It was the wireless version. AT&T was the wired, right? Because we had the two. Right. And I was getting it through Mike McCord at Anniston Communications. Okay. Well, I had, my number was so-and-so, 4700. And Mike McCord, who owned the business, had 4701. And he never would let me live that down. He used to joke me about that all the time. But I had that phone before there was even service. I had it plugged in at home. I would come in every day and see the red light on, said no service. And I probably had it a month. And then finally one day the red light was off, and I picked it up and dialed our home phone, and it rang. And I thought, the world just changed.
It really did. So that would have been, would you have called that a bag phone back then?
No, it was before. It was before the bag phone.
Oh, wow.
Listen, and if you toted it around much, you did not need a gym membership because it was a full 3-watt output, and the battery, man, I mean, it was a hoss.
Had a little mini car battery, I'm sure, hooked to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like a motorcycle battery inside it. It was a hoss.
That's crazy. My first was also a Motorola, but not nearly that early. Mine was, remember the Razr? Yes. I still say that was one of the sleekest phones that has ever been around. It just doesn't, they don't make them quite like that anymore. You can get flip phones now with the foldable screens and everything, but it's just not the same. And that phone, you could get 2 or 3 days of battery life out of that thing. And now, of course, we're limited to, 8 to 10 hours, if that.
Stuart, I got to tell you, too, this was funny because as they were promoting cell phones, they should charge you by the minute. And on the weekend, they started a program, nights and weekends were free after 6 o'clock. Okay, so that was great. Everybody dug that. Well, I took that Motorola phone and I took the handset and I took it apart and I put a plug in it. And I put a plug so that when you inserted the male plug into it, it broke the microphone connection and it went over to the plug. Well, then I put a little 1-to-1 transformer in an old film plastic box and had a wire running in each side. So when we would go out and do football games back, 100 years ago, I would take that cable out of the mixer and plug it into the cell phone and then call the station. And back then, everybody had to have wired cell phones. I mean, wired lines put in, and they were very expensive. Not every school supplied one for the visiting radio station, so it was, it was a little tough doing games on the road. And when I first pulled up with that cell phone and put it on the counter and plugged in and dialed, you should have seen the looks I got from everybody in the press box. And you talking about, man, I was the center of attention everywhere I went. They thought that was the coolest thing ever, which it kind of was.
I got to tell you, that's creative. I like that.
Yeah, I showed it to the cell phone people. They were in a bit of a panic about it, but and it kind of explained why I had 3-hour phone calls every Friday night. But we've come a long way, hadn't we?
We have, and that it reminds me. We think a lot alike, I guess. How old would you have been then, Bubba?
Oh gosh, let's see. I would have been. I'm gonna have to go back. That was late 80s, so I would have been early to mid 20s, probably.
Okay, so when I had my first phone, I didn't quite do that same thing. But the early Razr. You remember how when phones were just kind of barely starting to get the ability to use mobile data? Yeah. And you could kind of access the internet light on some things. Yeah. Like you could look up sports scores.
You had an Andorra app on it.
Yeah. You could look up like the movie theater times or stuff like that.
Time and temperature, the weather.
Yeah. So I figured out that the Motorola Razr, the way that it did that is it had a little baby web browser on there, and it just was pre-programmed to go to a specific Verizon website where you can view this information. Okay. And you get where I'm going with this. I figured out how to mess with the firmware and basically redirect it to Google. So I was using mobile data for free for like a year. They eventually shut me off when they figured it out. But I had the internet. I was like the only person who had the internet on their Razr. And I was looking stuff up on Wikipedia, and people were like, how are you doing that?
I'll tell you one other funny story about that. When the iPod first come out, and it had a green screen on it, and it was cool. It was a music player. It was it was a lot better than carrying around a CD player. And I had a guy I knew, and he said, I'm looking at this. I believe this thing would play video if it would accept the right stuff. And I said, yeah, well, that would be neat. It didn't have the color screen yet, so you'd obviously be limited. But he broke into that thing somehow and got it. And he came in one day and was showing me, and he had a movie on that green screen just playing plain as day. And I thought, well, you know that's coming. And it's going to be big. And hey, Look at it now.
Look where we went.
Well,
I tell you, that's a fun project that we ought to do. I know we got to wrap up, but one of these days I want to do we get you an old iPod, and I'm going to teach you how to flash mod it and how you can modernize it, put modern storage in it, and you talk about a music player, the battery, you can make that battery last for weeks. With the tech we've got now.
Stuart, at one time I was going to keep all of my phones and iPods and stuff, and if I wanted to lay them out like a museum one day, I could. Now, some of them have got away. When we moved, gosh knows where those first iPods went. Maybe they're in a box somewhere, but it's just amazing how far we've come. Stuart, thank you for your time. We're going to go ahead and break here, but thanks for coming off the job. And like I say, when you get a minute, I got plenty to do, and Hunter's got a project too, so let me know how you're looking.
We'll schedule it. Thank you, Bubba. I appreciate it as always.
Stuart Brockwell, Surge Technologies, Birmingham, Alabama. If you need help with your tech project, be sure to check with him. Stuart, tell your mom and all I said hello, and thank you for joining us again here on Bubba on the Lake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll be right back.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Just got that new boat? Let Sunrise Docks protect your investment with Swift Shield boat covers, Neptune boat lifts, and easy ports for your personal watercraft. Plus, they have composite decking that stays cool, designed with your feet in mind. Sunrise Docks is always first in quality, first in service, and first in customer satisfaction. Right off Highway 63, your Lake Martin headquarters, with 2 barges and the most experienced boat lift crew on the lake. Sunrise Docks is your lake life expert. Call 256-392-5200.
Experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. If you want to know what's going on around Lake Martin, check out the calendar of season events, including Fridays on the Green, naturalist events, fireworks, concerts, poker runs, boat shows, juried art shows, boat parades, and much more. If you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Russell just makes it better.
Illuminate your night fishing adventures with the ultimate in submersible fishing light technology. The Green Monster Fishing Light attracts bait fish and game fish in all water environments. Turn any dock into a vibrant feeding frenzy. Compact, tough, and energy efficient. The Green Monster Fishing Light will provide endless hours of family entertainment and enhanced nighttime visibility for safe docking. No dock, no problem. With our 24-inch portable Green Monster Fishing Light, start landing trophy fish tonight. Visit thegreenmonsterfishinglight.com.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Hey folks, we're back. It is Bubba on the Lake, and I have had a very special friend stop by the studio here, Meg. Let's see, Meg, let me get all your names right here. I want to be sure I had it wrote down. What did I do with that?
Can we start again?
It's Meg Wilson Bryant.
Look, I just snorted. I didn't
That's
mean
okay.
to do that.
We snort on this show. It's perfectly fine. Now, Meg actually dropped by to help us on our other podcast, the Tailgate Show, which we just did. And I said, Meg, I'm going to grab you for a minute because you're more of a long-form programming person, and we wanted to share you with the audience again. You've been here before. We did a segment, and you're a return guest. How's everything going with you?
It's going wonderful. And I tell you, this was awesome to be here. I mean, we have memories. We go way back.
So did you enjoy our other podcast, the Tailgate Show, which you were the guest picker this week?
Bubba, I just literally lived out one of my dreams to be a part of that because I remember the vet clinic on Rainbow Drive and the moment that I started working with y'all and we did the pigskin roundup, which was one of the greatest things ever. I mean, I thought to myself, I'm getting paid to do this. And literally, I'm here again, and it's come full circle.
Well, the conditions are a little bit different. The pay is not as good, and maybe a little more comfortable. I don't know. We were all cramped in there. We're kind of cramped in here, but we had a great time, and it was a lot of fun doing all that. And I'm glad you came down to do the Tailgate Show. It was a very lively program, and I hope people will check it out and follow and subscribe to it too, as we pick the college football hits every day.
I think I did pretty good. Didn't you think I was prepared?
Oh, you had all. I mean, you had all kind of stuff.
And you only gave me a couple hours notice, and I think I've pulled it off pretty good.
You were a late fill-in, and I appreciate you doing
Absolutely.
that. That's always very kind when somebody will do that.
Put me in, Coach.
So, what else is going on with you? What are you doing nowadays?
Everything is just wonderful. I just am so grateful to God for all the blessings, and I want to help as many people as I can. I think I'm in home health and did hospice for years.
Well, that's a calling there.
Yes, it is, and I feel like it's a big jump from doing radio and marketing for over 20 years, working at the Auburn Network, which you were key in getting me that job. But my dad passed away at 54 of Alzheimer's. And I just made it my goal in life to try to help as many other families as I can. So I've been doing home health and hospice for over 10 years.
Well, I know that you are a blessing to a lot of people. We miss you in the broadcasting, podcasting world, if you will, because you're so funny and you enjoy doing all these shows. And you're just you're a lot of fun. We always enjoy when Mega Love comes to visit.
I miss it, Bubba Love. It's a treat to be able to come and do some shows with you and Betty Lou, which, by the way, she still needs her own show.
Oh, I agree. I just can't do anymore. Somebody else is going to have to take care of it.
Come on.
I'm full right now between that and a few knee surgeries here and there.
Jeez.
But, Meg, I will say, I think maybe the highlight of the show is when you ask, and I'm talking about the Tailgate Show, if there was a statue of Brigham Young in Gadsden, Alabama.
I don't know. I would
say safe to say that's probably as far a place that there would never be a statue of Brigham Young you could have.
I don't know why when we were talking about Brigham Young, I immediately remembered that statue in Gadsden.
Maybe Emma Sampson. Yeah. That's funny. You remember Give Me the Finger? The big promotion because
I
somebody
do.
broke her finger
I
off.
100%
and
remember that.
It was a big mystery who had the finger.
And did we ever figure out who actually did? They have video footage of somebody doing that?
No, I think it was done before video cameras were so readily available, but somebody had it in a safe deposit box. And I think it's been replaced 2 or 3 times, and it just always gets broke off. It's
Okay,
just
so
not a
look,
good
I
deal.
went to the Pine Hill Cemetery tour in Auburn where they basically have different characters, which stay tuned for that with coming up with the Victorian Porch tour for me. But there is a statue in the Pine Hill Cemetery that they basically have characters that tell the history of Auburn. And there is a statue there that the head keeps being taken off.
Now, is that the statue of the Auburn head coach?
But no, it's not. And I refuse to talk anything negative about the team that I love.
Let me get that again. Still trying to get up to speed on that.
I'm not going to do it. I believe.
Well, listen, it's a great place to go to get rich.
I have said, yeah, I'm going to stop.
$52 million in payouts since Gus Malzahn just burned at center field. I mean, right in the middle of the field.
Well, I mean,
$52 million.
Okay, so there has been a rumor for a while that there started to be a downhill at our university when we let Coach Malzahn go.
Well, it has not been as successful. I'll say that.
No.
But,
And hey, the Kansas City Chiefs are running Coach Malzahn's offense. So.
Well, they run a lot of misdirection, and they throw.
So who's laughing now?
They seem to throw to the tight end, which I don't know why we have. That's always been kind of absent there, but that's a whole nother topic. But
Travis Kelce?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a Swiftie.
Well, 4 steps forward, turn around. It's not that hard a pattern, and it's won them a lot. It's won them a lot of football games.
It sure has.
Might ought to try that if you can't protect your quarterback.
Yep.
But we won't go into that.
Right.
That's that sounds kind of mean. But well, Meg, how you been watching all these elections or politics, or did you get out and trick or treat? What else you been doing?
Well, I had a ton of people at my house for Halloween. I had basically our neighborhood at Foxrun Village is amazing. We have this neat community. You've been there. It's a neat community.
I hate I couldn't come to your birthday.
I know. I mean, you kind of owe me a lunch or something.
Yeah, I do. I had too many pipes coming out of me at that point. I can't go anywhere with more than one pipe sticking out, from a medical standpoint.
You have
because
really
you get tangled up and pull 2 or 3
you
things
have
out.
really been. You've been through it,
Meg. I tell you, it has been. It's been heck since August.
I know it has.
And
I know it has.
I'm just praying we get over this and
I feel confident in your next appointment.
Well,
that's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I hope that all that's going to run smooth and
we'll
get out of this
went
because it kind of gets on you after a while. And Betty is a very positive person, and I try to be. I want to be a glass half full person, but I have to be optimistic too.
Sure.
I mean, I have to be realistic.
Sure.
And it's kind of on me. I'm kind of tired of limping because
I know
I have had stitches in my knee with the exception of 1 or 2 days since August the 13th.
That's not fun.
No, and they're hurting right now. I feel them pulling, and I'm about a week away from getting them out, Lord willing.
My sweet mother went into labor on Halloween in Fort Dix, New Jersey. And she prayed that I wouldn't be born on Halloween night, but she wasn't more specific with God because I didn't come until November the 2nd.
Wow.
So
you would have shared the same birthday as Nick Saban. He's a Halloween.
I'm glad I was born on November the 2nd. But hey, Coach Saban, genius.
Look, he's the GOAT, man. Can't argue with that. So, let me ask you about Halloween. I talked a little bit about it earlier in the podcast, what we used to do and how it's kind of got off the track with some people. And I hate that. Did you enjoy Halloween growing up? Did y'all have a good setup?
Yes and no. I was recently having this conversation with someone. I guess Halloween, we have to look what it is too, and we have to acknowledge what it is and what it isn't. But when we grew up, we had those old-timey costumes with the masks that would almost suffocate you.
It had the rubber band to hold it around you.
Yes.
Yeah. It broke in the middle of the night.
I mean, and the pain when that snapped. Oh, my Lord. But I was Cinderella. I found a picture of me in that Cinderella costume the other day. That was the good old days, though.
we had a great neighborhood. Everybody got together and had a big cookout. It was fun. And we tried to do that with our kids too. But, you know, it's kind of got off the track. And
it has.
As believers, we got to be careful of that. So we, you know.
Now, the Lake Martin Halloween house here, I went by boat with my friend Lisa the other night. That is impressive.
Yeah, I'm worried about those folks a little bit.
Oh, no,
know?
she's precious. I know her. She loves to make people happy.
Well, I saw her out in front
Melanie.
of it. But wow,
she has a storage building just for all that. And she starts decorating in July.
I can't imagine that all of that would fit in one store. And we're talking about a house where they decorate in the yard, and it's a lot of stuff, and a lot of boats go by, and you know.
It's really cool because I know her heart now and how much she loves it, and she just wants to make people happy. And she was giving out dog treats and giving out candy and the whole 9 yards. So I think at the end of the day,
she's giving out dog treats.
Yeah, to the dogs that were on the boat.
I thought she gave me a cookie that was shaped like a dog bone. You mean to tell me that was a dog treat?
Yes, it was, Bubba. How was it?
It cleaned my teeth well.
Well, good for you.
It was a little crunchy, but
a little crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's our job. It's the Holy Spirit's job to talk to us about the things in our life. That's the way I feel. I think we get closer to God. Some things go away, some things get closer. I think it's a personal preference, but I will say I'm glad I wasn't born on Halloween.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about holidays. Christmas is great. Love Christmas.
I have 3 Christmas trees up already.
Yeah, Betty will probably start decorating. She would already had it up if I hadn't been tied up with knee surgeries.
Do you remember the picture you sent me last year of Betty decorate the tree?
Oh, yeah.
And you said, don't ever tell her, sorry, Betty.
Yeah, she was on the ladder.
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite a view.
She's so stunning, Bubba.
Oh, she is. She's so
Betty
stunning.
Lou Bussey is a beautiful human being.
Inside and out.
Yes, she is.
And, you know, the thing about Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a wonderful holiday too, but the point was made years ago, and I think this could be valid, that you can enjoy Thanksgiving even more than Christmas because you have basically the same setup without gifts.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because you're still watching college football.
Right.
While you got the tree up and the stretchy pants to be able to eat all the things. And don't you love dressing? Is dressing not the greatest thing ever?
Man, don't get me started.
Oh my gosh, I love dressing.
Gravy, oh my gosh.
I don't like a lot of sage though.
Yeah,
it's got to be light sage.
Light. I wish I knew a place I could get dressing all the time.
Oh, I can. I'll hook you up.
Okay.
I know some people.
I do. I would like to get it more than I do, and
I love dressing.
Betty was in there cooking cornbread today. She's already started on all that. I love it.
Betty, I need an invite.
But you
for
know
the
what?
holidays.
What we used to do, we would go and we eat with our grandparents and all this, and we would eat like, you know, we're going to the electric chair.
Yes.
And then we would all lay in the floor and take naps while the lines lost on TV.
Absolutely.
Then we would get up and take a walk.
Yeah.
And go down the highway like a mile.
Right.
To walk it off so we could come back and eat more.
And do again.
I mean,
and the sandwich, the leftover sandwich.
Only Americans can do that, right?
Amen.
Oh, good stuff.
Aren't we blessed as a nation, as individuals?
Beyond comprehension.
Yes.
We really, really are.
And I want to focus on that this year. I was telling my small group last night, I don't want to miss anything this year. Like, I don't want to get caught up in the busyness of it all and not be in the moment and really, really celebrate the season of Thanksgiving and what we're grateful for, and also the holiday season of the birth of Jesus. I think we forget that as a country, as a nation. We're just constantly in the busyness and the perfect this and the perfect that. At the end of the day, though, we're blessed.
You know, too, I just enjoy the kids coming back. We see Hunter more than we see Caitlin, but we rarely have them here at the same time. And it's just so good to get back.
Have.
And it's me and Betty were just talking about this today. We have, I'm sorry, I got my mic down. We used to have huge Thanksgivings, house full of people. 20 people.
Oh yeah, easy.
And over the years, on my side, you know, they've died off. Grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and you know, our kids have not got married and started bringing other people in, or grandchildren, which you know, I won't kid them about that because, in due time. But I'm just not used to 4 of us sitting down.
Well, I will be glad to come and provide some entertainment
I
for
told
you.
Betty, I said, we ought to talk to some of the other neighbors around here that may be kind of in the same boat we are, where it's just 2 of them or, 4 of them, whatever, and we all get together, and that would be nice. I just want to enjoy people. I'm not as concerned about the football. Food's fine. It'll be great. But
Community.
I just want to talk to people.
Community.
Visit with them.
Yes.
See how they're doing, because, we're so busy, and, you wave at people. You don't get the chance. It's a little better here at the lake, I'll be honest with you, because people here do socialize a lot, and a lot of it's golf cart socializing. Yeah. So I do enjoy that part of it. But I hope this year we can just enjoy the day and what it means. And, right now I am so thankful for health.
Yes. Amen.
And, we take it for granted. You can't help but take it for granted. But when you struggle, you realize what a huge thing it is. You'd give every dime and everything you own to feel 100%. So
100%. And how much we've been praying. Like really praying. I mean, I'm so glad that Betty and Hunter kind of kept me updated through the whole process, and just knowing you and knowing how active you are and how full of life you are, for it to basically have kind of taken your legs out from under you, pun intended.
Yeah.
It's been tough. But what you said right there, Bubba, is so important. It's about community, because we are better we're serving other people when we're having community with it. I'm better personally when I'm not introverted and thinking about myself. When I'm constantly finding ways to give to other people, I found purpose and I come alive in that. And it's important to me at my community, Foxrun Village in Opelika. I intentionally try to know my neighbors. We used to know our neighbors. Like you had community in your neighborhood. You knew the people. And I think that's been lost, and I think it's so important that you know who's around you, that you help other people when you have an opportunity to help them.
Yeah, it is. Being a helper is a real blessing.
It is.
And sometimes we miss out on that blessing.
That's what we're made for.
Meg, thank you for joining us.
I love you, Bubba Love.
Thank you for coming up and being on the Tailgate Show and Bubba on the Lake.
I loved it.
We have to use you all we can when we finally get you up here.
I agree. And I gave out probably 20 shout-outs. I got them all in because I'm afraid you'll never have me back.
Yeah, pretty much everybody in Lee County got a shout-out tonight.
No, all the way to Texas A&M, because I talked about my friends that live in Texas.
Very few people have friends at every single college that you pick.
I love that.
But Meg, no, we love you. Thank you for coming by, and take care, and thank you for hanging around.
Love you.
See you.
You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
Hit me bad.
A production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees.
All rights reserved.
Experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Grab a latte at Brew 63, linger over lunch at Fanny's, or take in a beautiful Lake Martin sunset at Kaladja Restaurant. See Lake Martin and thousands of acres undisturbed forest taking a guided horseback trail ride through the stables. If you're here for a weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Russell just makes it better.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
At Central State Bank, we believe community banking is more than just transactions. It's about relationships. For over 100 years, we've been helping neighbors grow, businesses thrive, and dreams become reality. Because when you bank local, you invest in your community. Central State Bank, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Visit us today or learn more at centralstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Bubba on the Lake. We appreciate Meg taking time to be with us on 2 different podcasts tonight. So we had to make hay when the sun was up with her, and glad to have her here. We appreciate all of you tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. I did want to say, too, the elections we just had, we saw the left-wing Democrats gain some seats as mayors and one thing and another. And, of course, the big story was New York City and the socialist communist there who is going to take over and do all kind of wonders. You know, George Will said something I thought was very interesting. When he was asked about the mayor in New York, he said, I hope what's his name, Mandani? I hope he wins. And I think the interviewer was taken back by that, and he said, every 20 years or so, we need a good socialist to come along and show everybody why socialism and communism doesn't work, and this will be the next rendition of it. But the problem is it's going to set things back in a lot of places, decades. It always does, and takes time to work out of it. But he may have a point there. How can you be so positive, Bubba, that it won't work? Well, I can tell you this. We have history to look at. We have some really good comparisons. After World War II, we had East and West Germany. East Germany was communist. West Germany was a free market capitalistic system. And people were fleeing into West Germany, so much so that the old Soviet Union had to put up a fence and watchtowers and gates, and they had to put guards and guard towers, and they shot people trying to leave. Now, if that doesn't tell you the difference in those two systems, I don't know what does. Same thing with North Korea. We have another example, North and South Korea. North Korea is communist. South Korea is a free market capitalistic system. No comparison. Just look at the pictures at night of the Korean Peninsula. There are no lights in the north. The south is all lit up. Very westernized. You couldn't have 2 different countries so contrasting with the same people. It's just staggering. So it's never worked. The Soviet Union collapsed under their version of communism. Didn't work. Venezuela, it hasn't worked. Cuba, it hasn't worked. It's a long and distinguished list. We've had other countries even try it, dealing with socialism. India has tampered with it. Israel at one point. It's just never worked. Never worked. And the only example that people can point to is China. And you go, well, China was kind of behind the 8 ball and just recently kind of got their act together, like in the last 20, 30 years. And there was a reason for that. They went to more of a free market system. They allowed private ownership. They allowed profit. They still have a communist dictator framework for the government, but for the most part, they're letting a lot of people make their own decisions, a lot more than they used to, and it's flourished for them. And I think all of those are examples that show that what we do in a free market capitalism like we have here in America has provided the greatest standard of living in the history of mankind. I don't even think it can be debated anymore. And for us to go back and try these same old, and look, socialism and communism has a great speech they give. Hey, look at all those other people. They stole your stuff. I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to give you free bus trips. I'm going to give you rent control, housing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Let me tell you how you bring the rent down. If you have 100 apartments for rent and you have 200 people that need an apartment, what do you think the price is going to do? Going to go up. Going to go up because they can charge what they want to. If you won't pay it, somebody else will. Now, what happens if you have 100 people and you have 200 apartments for rent? Guess what? They're begging people to rent their apartment. Prices go down. It's not that complicated. It's just not that complicated. Many of the pollsters, and I was looking at some of that this afternoon, has said affordability was the main thing on the ballot. Exit polling said it was about affordability. Well, You know, the Biden years, we had inflation at 9, 10%. It's back down in the 2 range now, 1, 2. Gas is cheap. Remember when egg prices went just through the roof? They're back to about where they should be. So we have seen the prices come down of things in the last 9 months. And a lot of that is because of the free market pressures that President Trump and the Republicans have brought to bear. I will say this. I hate the government shutdown. I think Congress should fix the rules so that that cannot be done in the future, that they're going to have to fight it out as legislators, not as hostage takers, and that's exactly what they've done. It doesn't matter who you're for here. The Republicans are offering them a start. All they have to do is come back and vote yes, but they want to tie a bunch of other stuff to it. We need to do away with this. This part of our system is a failure for everybody concerned, and I hope that the Republicans will get enough people they can do that. These continuing resolutions, and look, give us a budget, vote on it up and down, have a certain time, pass it, and then we go with it. None of this, we're just going to take our checkbook and go home. That's ridiculous. It's like a bunch of 6th graders. So, and this is real people. This is real lives. It's air traffic controllers. And it's, look, I hate to say this, but we're going to end up with a disaster. We're going to end up with somebody overworked, not enough people, and we're going to have a disaster. And boy, then the fingers are going to go to pointing again, but we still won't do anything about it. So I would call on our Congress to change the rules and not allow these defunding of the government, that if they cannot get a budget and they cannot vote on it, that we just go forward with the one we had last year. I'd be all right with that. Ain't perfect. We need to reduce it. But hey, it certainly beats this, what we got going on now. Now the longest government shutdown we've ever had. And I don't think either side is any closer. Don't know who's going to get blamed for it. Doesn't matter. But we as Americans can do better than this. You know, we learned to fly. We broke the bounds of gravity. We split the atom. We landed on the moon. You know, we can do better than this. We invented the internet, good, bad, or otherwise, I guess. So I really hope we can get that together. Guys, thank all of you for being part of Bubba on the Lake. We appreciate it. I ask you to tell a friend, bring them in. We always love to hear from you via email or from our 308 Big Lake comment line here in the Mellow Yellow studio. And don't forget to turn on your notifications, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff on social media. And we certainly appreciate you being part of the podcast. It's going great. We have some new sponsors on, and we're looking forward to things getting bigger and better with your help. So until next time when we sail into port, remember God loves you, and we do too. And thank you for being part of Bubba on the Lake. I am so happy to announce that our family dentist, Dr. Thomas Dudney, has joined my podcast as a sponsor. My entire family have been patients of Dr. Dudney and his team for over 20 years. Now, I'm going to be telling you a lot more about all of his services and what he does, but I have to tell you, the veneers that he gave me changed my life. I had no idea how big an impact that would have. You can call him today at 205-663-6545 or visit them at thomasdudney.com and find out more.
Another staff meeting, another push for cross-selling, another awkward silence. Then Banker Bounty happened. The first referral platform made just for banks. One app that empowers every employee, not just your top producers, to bring in business. No more spreadsheets, no more silos, just clarity, culture, and actual growth in real time. Banker Bounty fixes more than your referral program. It fixes your momentum. Go to bankerbounty.com, watch the video, book your free demo. Banker Bounty. Create, manage, and track referrals in real time.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, and Dr. Thomas Dudney.